We're recording another episode of Athletics LLC. That's as good as it gets. There's not better singing that you're ever going to hear in this world. So,
Wow.
welcome. I know, right? that's the Florida air. Getting a little delirious out here, to Clyde's dismay. The Florida air. Anyhow, welcome. Thanks for joining us. We are missing the governor tonight. That Mt SAC APU Long Beach shenanigans caught up with him. So we'll let him breathe for a moment. But otherwise, we're joined by the usual suspects and then one fun guest. So let's start off the night. Sir Lucius, how are you today, sir?
I am doing absolutely phenomenal.
I knew you were going to get a kick out of that. He's like, oh. Lamar Pseudo Gator Huffins. Well, that was funny. I didn't even get through all of that.
Nor should you have.
I know, right?
Hey, listen, I've been a faux gator for a long time.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Clyde, save us. How are you today, sir?
Well, I'm not here to save you. I'm here for the shenanigans. So I will be encouraging all levels of whatever happens tonight.
Oh my gosh, wide open.
I like it.
Wide open. All right, well, not that we couldn't hide our guest, but a guest that we've put off for almost 2 years now. And it's finally happening. It's happening. Not related to the other Holloway, but Mr. Grant Holloway. How are you tonight, sir?
I'm doing great.
First of all, that is very false. We are related, so let that go.
I'm glad he jumped there.
They're cousins.
Okay. So
Is that true?
thanks for joining us. There was a question.
It is if you ask them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey.
Till the wheels fall off.
I love it.
Every
As
day, all
it
day.
should be. As it should be. I love it. That's great. So thank you for taking the time to be with us. I don't know if you've ever watched the show, but you will firsthand see the shenanigans that we call Athletics LLC. So you will know why there's been video clips of us on the internet that didn't come from us.
Yeah, trust me. I already seen a lot.
Oh Lord. So doors wide open, gentlemen. Pew, 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 pew.
I mean, it's only fair that the pseudo gator gets first shots here.
Oh, well, I mean, we're going to ask him multiple questions, but I'm definitely going to ask the ultimate lob question. All right, Grant, who's on your hurdles Mount Rushmore?
Hurdles, Mount Rushmore. All right. So first, I'm gonna pay homage to someone who got me into hurdling. I have a great relationship with him now. Put David Oliver, far left.
Oh, you even got positions. I like it.
I'm gonna do David Oliver, far left. I'm gonna put Aries Merritt next to him. I'm gonna put Alan Johnson next to him, and then I'm gonna have myself up there.
I like it. I'm so glad you did it. I'm
gonna put myself up there. Absolutely. I mean, honestly, the reason for that order, I think it kind of just shows you, going down the line. So I had David Oliver first, paying homage to him, got me into hurling. Basically, when I was younger, that was my role model. I wanted to be exactly like him. This was also at a time, I think it was either 2010 or 2011, when he was just pumping out 12 nines and 13 O's. And he went on to, I think, Prefontaine to run 1289. I think, I don't want to say I was a world record at the time, but I'm not positive. But, just doing that, going through, and then, you got Alan Johnson. He is the hurdle GOAT in my eyes. I think he set the standard, just for not just, myself, but all hurlers coming through the program. And then Aries Merritt, I think his resume speaks for itself. World record, indoor world champ at a time. And then from there, really just, setting the standard, of just going out there and really just being a technician. I think that shows, just how the hurdle game goes.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So I have a recent news kind of angle with my first question. It's actually something I find really interesting. You're the only person I really want to ask this to. We all saw this past week or so, Devin Allen going to transition and taking another shot at pro football, signed with the Eagles. Now, anybody that pays attention knows that you were an excellent football recruit way back when. When you see something like that with Devin, and you see just the crazy amount of money that far lesser athletes are able to make in the NFL, is there any part of you that's like, you know what, I might slide back over there?
I mean, every day, you can have that itch to go play another sport. But I told both of my parents, and Coach Holloway can even attest to this. I said, when I'm done with it, I want to be done with it. There's no going back saying, I wish I did this. I wish I could have done this. It's all right. I did everything I could at the time, and I want to be done with it. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. I would love to go play football again, but I don't think my body is made for that no more. I've been spending 5-6 years now shaping my body to be the best, 110 hurdler, out there right now. So if I was to go out there and try to run routes, yeah, most likely my knees, back, hamstring, calves,
My back and my neck.
ankles, yeah, everything. I'll be like Giselle on the ground. It just would not work out. But I would absolutely love to do that. But I told myself, at a very young age, I think I was 17 at the time, that if I was to give it up, I will be done. And I don't think I will ever go back. I think I closed that door and opened up many other ones.
Fair enough. Now,
I mean, you are pretty good at the hurdles, so that's okay.
yeah. Yeah.
I'm holding it down. I'm decent, as some people would say. I'm decent. I try to do what I can do.
Now, is Lucius throwing questions, or is he?
No, I'm just hanging out. Hanging out.
Well, then that means Chu, you got to throw something.
I know. I wasn't prepared for that. So someone else go and then I go.
If Lucius throw questions, we'll probably end up in the lab somehow. So yeah,
Exactly.
let him hang out. Just let him hang out.
Okay, no, okay. So, all right, then, because I know we've discussed it many times on the show, and I'm sure the audience would appreciate to hear what athlete Holloway feels about these grades that Coach Holloway likes to throw at him after his performance.
Performances or like practice stuff.
Or whatever.
If it's performances, don't get me wrong. Like, some of the grades I ask for, and I can't shy away from, anything that I do. At the end of the day, I go out there, I put the blocks down. I'm the one, going across those lines. But I mean, even in practice, Coach Holloway told me today, it was like, next week I need you to be a little bit more focused on all your reps. Like he said, you had great reps and then you had horrible reps. So it's just, it's my job at the end of the day to go out there and really execute. I know I'm fast. I know I'm strong. That's besides the point now.
Can I ask you a question? Did I really say the word horrible?
Yes.
I did not say the word horrible.
Did you say a worse word?
No, I did not.
Did you say it was? Did you not say it was horrible?
No, I never used that word at all. As a matter of fact, that's your word anyway. Your word is horrible, right? Not mine.
If it was, yeah, I guess it was my word. Look, I'm not gonna put words in Sir Lucius' mouth. So I'm gonna say it very, very lightly. But he did say I had a couple bad reps. Is bad fine?
That's fine.
Okay. So he said I had a couple bad reps. and it's up to me to just be able just to hone that in and make the next rep better. Usually I always tell Coach Holloway it's always I'm a 2-round type of guy. So the first one, give me some time, get into it. But what we're trying to accomplish, I think he's demanding that every rep is great. It's not gonna be perfect. And we kind of, I'm sure you guys have all heard Coach Holloway's motto: practice doesn't make permanent. I mean, practice doesn't make perfect, it makes permanent. But it's up to me just to be able to go through, those days and really, just be great in all aspects, not just on the track but off the track. So I think when he gives me those grades, is from the true heart. And look, trust me, he'll definitely tell you his eyes don't lie. So that's always a good thing to have.
I have a question. I think a lot of people wonder when they watch you hurdle. Usually you can turn your back and the 110 hurdles is going because there's just hurdles get blashed everywhere, left, right, and center. You don't really hit hurdles.
It's very true.
Tell us about that. Like, I saw you. I've actually been able to watch you in close in person this week in practice, and I saw you actually hit the first hurdle of a rep, and it threw me because I'd never seen you do that. And I've seen you hurdle a lot.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know why I don't hit hurdles. I think I really want to say at a young age, my dad told me, if you hit a hurdle, that's how you slow down. But I literally, it probably has taken me, I would say about 4 or 5 years to actually get to the point where I'm grazing hurdles. So, you just hear that little nick every blue moon, I might hit a hurdle. That rep that you saw, yeah, just delete that whole rep. Just throw that in your trash can. But I just think I don't know why. I can't answer the question. I think it just came at a young age where my dad was just saying, if you hit a hurdle, that's how you slow down. And I guess that stuck with me. But now I'm getting to the point where, okay, if I hit a hurdle, I'm still fine. I know how to recover. I know how to be an athlete. I think it all comes down to just, how are you going to handle it, going into the next one? Even if you hit that first one, how are you going to go and handle it going into the next hurdle?
Oh, okay. So it's great that we have you here because to that point, indoors in the World Championship final, you hit hurdle 3, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
And that was one of the greatest saves I've ever seen in my life because I understand the velocity you were moving at when you hit that thing. How is that? Would you just chalk that up to being an athlete in that moment? How difficult was that to save?
Well, I also blame Coach Holloway for getting me that fast. So I just think that goes.
It's my fault. Yeah.
Yeah, I just think that goes to Coach Holloway. Just doing his coaching stuff. But to answer your question,
since you put me in this conversation, what did Coach Holloway tell you before the final?
Are you gonna run fast?
I told you put your feet down and don't reach for the hurdle.
Try to.
No, you didn't. That's why you hit the hurdle.
I tried to. Yes, he did. He did tell me to put my feet down, but then also my rebuttal to that is you should have been at the track meet. But you have to coach some Gators to win a national title. I feel you. You look real good holding up the trophy today. So I understand all that. But no, for real, to answer the question, I always, in my eyes, I always known I've been a great athlete, honestly. So regardless of, if I hit the hurdle or not, I feel like just me being able to recover, I know how to do that. But then also it just goes back to, the training that I do at, not at the University of Florida with Coach Holloway. We start off in the grass, and then we go back, then we go on the track, and then, I have the weight room session. I'm always doing things, I guess, to, build that balance and that agility. So me hitting that hurdle at that speed, I didn't really think it bothered me. I mean, granted, I did run, I ran a slower time than, what I was on pace to do, but just wasn't my, it wasn't my time. It wasn't my moment yet to do that. I think it also goes to a point where, if you was, you execute, that would have never even happened. So, you just take it all with a grain of salt. But, when I hit the hurdle, I still just feel like, my training and everything is fine. So just don't panic. And then, you go through the rest of the race.
I do have a question for Chu. Chu, did you run hurdles? Or were you a jumper?
I was
Say
a
again?
hurdler first, and then I jumped.
Okay,
I
so
was a
that means
hurdler
everybody.
first, and then I went
So
to
that means
jumping.
that everybody on this screen at some point in time was a hurdler, and there's only one guy on this screen who can recover from that mess. So I want we're gonna move on.
Even at the 30-inch hurdles, yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
Indeed.
All right. So, question for you for the non in the circle people. What does Grant Holloway do when he's not hurdling? What balances you?
Well, it all depends on what Grant Holloway you get. You can get the social butterfly Grant Holloway, who's talking. You can get the gaming Coach Holloway. I said Coach Holloway. You can get the gaming Grant Holloway that's playing the video game. You can get the wine connoisseur Grant Holloway that's always tasting out new wines. You can get the Grant Holloway that doesn't want to be bothered. It all depends on the mood. I mean, I was just at a spring game not too long ago to watch our football team, and it was really at that point it was just seeing old faces, reconnecting, rekindling those relationships that not want to say you forgot about, but just different parts of life make you go different areas. So it all depends on what's going on. I mean, most of the time, right now we're at the point in the season where Grant Holloway is more so focused on how can he get ready for the next workout, rather that's cooling down, whether that's watching the film, doing the abs, small things like that. So I'm locked in on my season right now, but I think it all depends on the mood of what's at stake, what's going on.
So you're saying there's a time and a place for everything?
Absolutely. You sound just like my dad when you said that. Oh my God, there's a time and a place for everything.
There's a time, you can do it all, but there's a time and a place for it all. So what is your game of choice currently?
Honestly, I have not played my video game since the beginning of February. And at the time,
Rightfully so.
When I was playing Call of Duty. What Call of Duty's out right now? It's called Call of Duty Vanguard. So I was playing that religiously, Monday through Friday, twice on Sunday.
Like it was a job.
Yeah, exactly. So I was doing that, but ever since the first meet at the beginning of February, I was in Staten Island for my opener. I haven't yet to touch it. It probably is collecting dust, honestly, with everything going on right now. So I haven't played it since, and I really don't think I'm not gonna play it tomorrow. I'm not gonna play it on Saturday. Sunday is gonna be a recovery day, and then Monday we start the week all over again. So I really just been locked in on my craft. I mean, with what I'm trying to accomplish and what I want to do is, you start preparing yourself real early. If you got that strong mindset, and you able to, you able to win half the battle right there. Just with the mindset. So just starting early, watch my film, do my stretches, get my treatment, go to the track, and everything else will fall into place.
All right, Mr. Flamingo.
Love it.
I have a question for you. Inquiring minds want to know. You do a lot of things, damn near everything well. What event do you want to do or have you wanted to do that Coach Holloway has absolutely forbid you from doing?
I don't know. I have to do a lot of stupid events sometimes.
I heard some chirping about the quarter.
I was just about to say, forbid me to do probably 400 hurdles. No. Forbid probably high. No, I'm saying 400 hurdles. I was going to say high jump, but I think that's wrong. I don't think I joke around with it, but I don't think I've ever got the initial nod like, oh yeah, you go ahead, have fun. Go ahead and do what you want to do. I don't think I've ever had that. Now, when and he can attest to this, when I was in college, it was whatever I could do to hold up that trophy above my head. I mean, it didn't matter if I had to go triple jump. Look, I'm gonna figure out a way. We're gonna get these points somehow, one way or another. But I would say final answer 400 hurdles.
Okay, so since we're in that realm of questions, Grant Holloway is one of the better follows in the Twitter sphere for pro track athletes. And so since we're known to get some Twitter fodder around here every now and then, it's Mt SAC relays out west. There is a 200-meter showdown between Fred Curley, Michael Norman, and a handful of others. Who are you picking to win that 200-meter showdown, sir?
Do you know who's in it?
I do know who's in it.
Oh, I know we know who's in it.
Y'all gonna make all my friends turn against me. I don't want nobody. Nobody.
We got to get a pick. We do predictions around here, mostly badly, but we got to get.
We do poorly predict some stuff.
I'm going Grant Holloway in lane 9.
Nah. You gotta get a real prediction.
It's gonna be messy. I don't even know. Y'all really gonna make me do this. I'm going. My cold take of the day. I did it once. I'll do it again. I'm going Rod Benjamin. I ain't gonna pick. I'm going Rod Benjamin.
Rod Benjamin.
That's not a freezing cold take.
That's a cold take. I always gonna ride with Benjamin. I'm riding with Benjamin.
It's a very this. What I think
y'all
they've done a good job of assembling. Oh, for sure. That's our job. Our job is to be thought-provoking is a better word. It's not messy. We're thought-provoking.
That's not how he's feeling.
I'm disappointed because if this was us sitting out on the track and out on a recording, you'd have a lot to say about that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But look, when we started this recording, it said you are now recording. It gave me the option to leave right here on my iPad. So look, it gave me a warning. Y'all not gonna get me.
That's hilarious.
We just got to keep it real. I'm not mad at the Rod Benjamin pick. I feel that was kind of a safe pick. You ain't really have to get into the favorites. It's a little soft, but it's okay. I understand.
I love it. One personal, more of the person question. Who is your hero? Who helps you get through each day, each rep, each practice? Just is there, whether it's physically or mentally, emotionally.
I mean, physically, mentally, emotionally, myself. I have this fear of complacency. I feel like I'm always finding ways to get better. I think that's actually one of my downfalls. I always feel like I need to do more because it's an old Jay-Z song, and at the beginning of the track it says someone's eating a bowl of Apple Jacks, watching my film or listen to my tape. He says, and they think they're gonna take my spot. And in that case, I'm saying, someone's sitting down watching my film thinking they're gonna take my spot. So I always feel like I need to, do something. And I think that's my downfall. I think that's my kryptonite. I'm never, relaxed. I'm never off my feet. But, with that being said, that just makes me work 10 times harder. I was actually blessed to do a interview about my aunt before she passed away. And I had said that when I first started doing track, I didn't have anything. I mean, I had something. I didn't go from rags to riches like some people, but I didn't really have anything. I just on an athletic scholarship, and I was working 10 times as hard to make sure I could, make it to the next level, prove myself. And now that I got it, I feel like I'm working 100 times harder to make sure I don't ever lose it. And I think that's my biggest downfall. So, the stuff that gets me through is just, not being complacent, finding ways to get better, whether if it's on the track, off the track, figuring out stuff to do in the community, just always finding ways. But me and my dad have a great relationship. we always talk. I think, you know, when things really get sour or get bad for me, that's the first person I reach out to. And even my mother, you know, I feel like I have a great relationship with both of my parents, and it goes back and forth. You know, sometimes, you know, you lean on mom, sometimes you lean on dad. But between both of them, I definitely say my dad is, you know, is definitely one of my best friends, one of my heroes that helps me get through all that stuff. I mean, Coach Holloway can attest that when things get tough, you know, if I'm having bad practice, which I rarely ever have because like I said, I'm a perfectionist. But when it's time to, you know, to reach out or get to me or someone to calm me down, that's the guy you talk to.
Yep. 1-800 call Stan.
Call Stan. 4x1 or 4x4, Grant?
Ooh, depends.
You can only have one.
It depends. It
No,
depends
there's
on
no
the
depending.
stipulations.
You only get to pick one.
Okay, wait. We can make it a little bit more.
4x2. Just kidding.
No. 2022 outdoor championship. Which relay, 4x1 or 4x4, does Grant Holloway
4x1.
want a piece of?
4x1 because
There.
USA don't know how to get the baton around the track.
There it is. There it is.
We can you can get we got plenty of 400 people. They can get that around. I mean, like, my thing is, all you guys I have a great relationship with. It don't matter what event or what I do. I'm always putting myself in the, you know, those pressure situations because I know I'm gonna get it done. You know, that's just me, who I am as a person. I want to have the ball in overtime. It doesn't matter it don't matter what event, it don't matter how it is. When the game's on the line, when the track meet's on the line, I want the ball in my hand because I don't want to say I got trust issues, but I know how hard I work.
Excuse me.
I know how hard I work, and I don't
Excuse
want.
me.
Here you go.
Yes.
I know.
Rewind.
I
Here
know
I
how hard I
go.
work.
Okay, hold on a second. Do you have trust issues, sir?
No, I don't.
Hey, we all got trust issues when it comes to Team USA 4x1.
I want to put myself in that situation to execute it.
Let's be honest. We all have trust issues. That's why we do the individual ass sport of track and field.
That's very true.
Touche.
That's very true.
I left basketball happily because I got tired of being on the point of the press, killing myself, trapping dudes, and the ball goes over the top, and my center's watching the ball go over his head, and they score a bucket, and then I get yelled at. Nah.
I knew you were gonna say nah.
Ain't doing that.
No, but honestly, I really just, you know, if the case is like that, I'm putting myself on the 4x1, and you know, whoever else, I'll make sure, you know, I do my part. I don't want to do the blame game because, you know, at the end of the day, it takes 4 people to get the baton around the track in 35, 36 seconds, like we think we can do. But, you know, it just we haven't been clicking for some time, other than 2019 when we broke the American record, but we still have not been clicking. It hasn't been consistent.
I like it.
So all I heard was put me in, coach. That's what I heard.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It will require some outside the box thinking from whomever, but I think we would all co-sign that.
Grant Holloway, third leg, lock it in. Done.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna be able to handle it. I think that the new clock is starting to wind back up, and we're just gonna let it tick, and we'll figure out, you know, what happens in the future.
All right. Who's Grant Holloway, the superhero? Who is your superhero?
Who is my superhero? Wow.
Like Superman, Batman, that type thing.
So you guys don't watch anime, but it's this character called Goku from Dragon Ball Z. I'm pretty sure it's a well-known name. But I think that's my superhero. So Goku works very hard, but then at the same time, he's also trying to, you know, take care of his loved ones. He don't care about his son and that whole trilogy, but but I feel like he works hard in everything he does. He trains hard. He does what he has to do, and I think that's who I am. You know, I work hard. I try to take care of the ones that take care of me. I give back. I try to keep those relationships strong. You know, I always try to stay connected with, you know, people that I always say I'm gonna try to stay connected with. You know, of course, sometimes we get caught up with life and all that other stuff happens, but I definitely try, and I think that's who my superhero is. I think that's who Grant Holloway is.
I can see that.
For the American people, what is your current 100-meter PB?
1064.
Sweet.
Let's see.
I'll take the under, Alex, for 1,000.
Are you looking it up right now?
I'm typing it in. I don't know if it's gonna pop up.
That's funny.
Sir Lucius, do you know it off the top of your head?
No, because he's never run one for me. So
Is the clock ticking on that? Are we going to see some?
well, I mean, I think the cat's out of the bag. The heat sheets went up for the Tom Jones meet this weekend, and Mr. Holloway will be running in heat 2, I believe, of the Olympic development 100 meters here this weekend. So
There you go. Get your popcorn.
Tune in,
Popcorn ready.
SEC Network. Yeah, get your popcorn ready.
You're welcome, America. I have been prodding his coach for quite some time on this one. Did you know that, Grant?
No, I mean, it does not.
I've been
surprise
asking
me
for
at
this
all,
for
though.
a couple of years.
You know what? We since you brought up the 100-meter PR, that might be the worst discrepancy ever in sprinting, because his 60-meter
Right.
PB and his 100-meter
Right.
PB don't match.
Don't go down the line. We have this conversation every blue moon.
Well, yeah. Say, how about his 100-meter PB and his 110 PB?
Don't
1064
go down
and
the line.
1298 or 1280.
Go
I'm
down.
sorry.
You're gonna be upset. Don't go down the line.
That's
We'll see. We'll see what we can do to take care of that on Saturday, right? But
There you go.
That's funny.
Yeah, that'll be special.
I do have a last question before we let Mr. Holloway rest, before we get in trouble.
Okay. Well,
I'm off tomorrow, so I'm good.
right.
Everybody's happy.
I don't know if that top screen agrees with you.
we
with that.
started. We poked some fun with him, so we can end it, bring it back to something with some substance. He opened, the first question was his Mount Rushmore, which I think a lot of us would agree with. I heard him say, Alan Johnson is the GOAT, which we had that conversation before, and all of us co-signed that. So what distinguishes those men that you have on your Mount Rushmore from one another, and what will it take, since you're on it, for you to, take the crown?
I think every Mount Rushmore is going to be different. We all have different opinions. We're all strong-minded people here. But for me, I just think it goes to relevancy. Alan Johnson from 96 to 2006, 2004. Don't quote me on that, but every year he was relevant. It doesn't matter what color the medal. He was always in the top 3. My other 2, going to Aries, he has the world record. So obviously he did something special in 2012 that we all know of. So that's why he's up there again. David Oliver, I mean, he has a world title in 13, a bronze in 8. I think he maybe only has 3 or 4 medals. I'm not positive. Don't quote me on that again. But for him to me, it's just, he was the person I was watching coming up. Now, don't get me wrong. You do have Lou Zhang. He was another dominant force when he was on. When he was on, he was on. You got Darren Robles, who was another dominant force when he was on. But the people that I named are people that I think resonate with me the best. And for me to take the title, I leave that to you guys. For me is to have that relevancy and really have that consistency and that discipline. That's the stuff that's gonna make me great 10, 15 years down the line. Whenever I decide to hang up the spikes, I want to be. One thing that I really admire for Usain Bolt is when he was, I don't even want to say at the top of his game, he was still relevant. Although he got a third in 2017, he was still relevant. And that's my thing. I want to stay relevant, and then to be relevant, you just have that consistency and that discipline. I think that will lead me to where that will lead me to being called the GOAT from you guys.
I think we've used the word goat already, so if not close.
Well, I think we talked about this a
We
year
did.
ago, and the question was about what it would take, and my answer was you had the simplest opportunities in front of you because you had so many championships bunched together that if you medaled in all of them, that's probably enough.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all bunched together, but I mean, with two Olympics, 3 world championships in a 5-year span, like
It's a question.
it's
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
if you have that set of medals, that's a set of medals that nobody else has. So,
Right. We can all, like you said, we can all sit here and we can all, talk about the 5 years and the indoors and outdoors and Olympics that we got coming up. But, we've all heard the term that we can't be all talk. We got to have some action behind it. So, that's my goal. Like you said, we talking about it, and now it's to go out there, execute it, and have it around my neck. Have it around my neck. Have them dangling, clacking.
like in high school, you run around the track meet with all your medals just bouncing around.
All your medals just bouncing around hitting your chest.
Oh my gosh.
with your like Olympic Letterman jacket on.
There you go. All of it.
Stop it. Stop it.
Oh, that would be the greatest picture ever. It would just say, it would be like a letter jacket and it say Holloway on the back, and it have like a furry goat picture, and then all your medals is bouncing around in the front, look just like high school.
So don't be scared if someone sends that to you now.
I won't. Not at all.
That's hilarious.
Oh,
All right, sir. Well, please go get some rest. It'll be a pleasure seeing you run and do the deal this weekend. But other than that, it was great. Thank you for your time. We appreciate you.
Oh, thank you guys. I appreciate it. I have fun.
Good.
See you
Now
tomorrow.
go close those eyes.
Sounds good.
you have an open invite to the show, sir.
Yes.
Can't wait. Let me know when
See,
it gets juicy.
Now you have the code. You can literally pop in anytime.
Oh,
Exactly.
oh, see, don't tell him that.
I'll say nothing about no code.
Right? Special guest, Grant Holloway. All right, young man, get some rest.
Hey, I'll see you guys soon. Thank you.
Hey.
Good night.
Bye.
That's funny. I love it. That was fun. That was as fun as I thought it was going to be.
Indeed.
Special guy. You can see your guys' relationship, and that's amazing. That's awesome.
I feel like Sir Lucius is sitting there writing workouts for Grant as we speak.
Problem.
See?
Notes, not workouts, notes.
Yeah.
Notes,
Uh-huh.
notes.
Oh, that's funny. All right. Well, that will happily transition us. Wow, that was so bad. Into Track is Back. And, we'll try not to overlap into things that are already happening at Brian Clay, APU, and Long Beach Invite. But definitely there are a lot of things that happened in the last week. Crazy
Well,
things.
I mean, I think it all starts with Abby Steiner, right?
Yeah.
1092, 22, crazy. I'm still not certain about this whole 5.6 thing. whether it was a 5.6 headwind or a 1.6 headwind, 22:38 in April is flying, folks.
Flying.
And she looks spectacular doing it. The 200 itself was just so easy, you know. And she's not quite as bad as my boy Fambule in the first 20. But my God, if she figures out the first 20, that's a huge problem. It's a huge problem. It's just spectacular to watch her run right now.
Okay, so the 200, I mean, my God, right? I found the 100 more interesting, and I'll put it this way: when you find a clip on YouTube or your Twitter starts blowing up, oh my God, did you see what Abby Steiner did? You focus on Abby Steiner. And then you go back and watch it a few times and you realize a few things. Does Abby have a quote unquote an amazing start? Most people would say no, but she accelerates extremely well. And here's the thing about that race down in Louisiana. That was Micaiah Briscoe who popped out and left the field. It only looked that bad because one of the world's truly elite starters right now just so happened to be next to her. I was more impressed with how easily she just caught up, blew by, chucked the deuces, and gapped Micaiah Briscoe. Like, the middle segment of that race was phenomenal. And so for me, when I was looking at it, as from a coach's perspective or from a fan's perspective, I'm just like, listen, if she can move like that through the middle, I mean, who on the world stage is going to get that much further away from Abby Steiner? Not many. So, not like she's a poor starter.
There's some folks down in Jamaica that aren't coming back to her. So let's start there.
We can talk about the Jamaicans, but we can talk about the Jamaicans. Shelly Ann is a phenomenal starter. Elaine's an accelerator. She's not a 0 to 30 kind of person. You know what I mean? So like that's why.
I disagree. I think Elaine's a much better starter than people give her credit for.
Okay.
Because I don't think does she pop out the way Shelly Ann does. No, but if you go back and look at the Olympic Games at 30 meters, she's right there.
Yeah.
She's right there.
That was one of her.
So my thing to this is like, if Abby wants to become one of the true elites, the 10-7 person, the first 30's got to be fixed. She, in my opinion, right now has got to be the odds-on favorite to win the NCAA title in both of those events. Just write those 20 points down for Kentucky unless something happens. But if we're talking about getting to the elite status, that first 30's got to be addressed, and it's got to be addressed seriously because the Jamaicans aren't coming back. They're not.
But okay, I'll leave that there with you. Before we see the Jamaicans, we have to see the Americans. And right now in America, who would you place money down to beat her in 100? Because
well, okay, I'll put it to you like this. See, there's a lot of Americans that can beat her.
Sure.
Right?
Yes.
First, I'm going to start with the fact that Micaiah Briscoe and her training partner are probably in a different training phase than she is. They're not as very sharp as she is right now. Clearly, if she is doing any sort of real training, Sha'Carri can beat her.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Obviously, when you talk about, we witnessed the two girls out of Bermuda who both have 10 APRs, so 10-9 and 10 APRs. Yeah. So they can beat her. There's a lot of American women that can beat her. I don't think she's unbeatable. I think that she is she very capable of making the team in both of them? Absolutely. Yeah. But I think she's a better bet in the 200 right now than she's in the 100.
Oh, yeah.
Because the problem with the 100, when you don't start well and people come back to you, it works. But when you get in a race where they don't come back, then the panic sets in. And I'm not saying she's going to panic, but, 10-9 doesn't catch 10-7. And doesn't catch 10-8 either. So, and I think there's something else people didn't pay attention to. Favorable Philly ran 11 flat.
Yes,
So
she did.
yeah,
Yes, she
Right?
did.
And nobody's talking about Favor.
Yes, she
And,
did.
you know, Favor Philly happens to go to a school that's well known for producing 100-meter runners and also for having them run really well when it counts the most. So I think before we just anoint her, we also have to remember that Favor ran very well indoors against her as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. And again, I'm not bad mouthing Abby. I think she's doing a phenomenal job. I do think she's the odds-on favorite to win the NCAA titles in both those events. But I think when we're talking about the next level, the 0 to 30's got to get better. It's got to get better.
Would we consider her the odds-on favorite to break the collegiate records in both events?
Nope.
Neither?
You said both.
No, I'm asking. Neither or just not both?
Well, I mean, I think that I don't like to put the odds on favorite to do anything. I mean, is she capable of breaking the 200-meter record? Absolutely. The
absolutely.
1092 is a long way away from 27 to 1074. It's a long way off.
Yeah.
That's not even close, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that clearly she can run faster, but how much faster, I don't know.
I think the buzz about her potentially breaking the 100 meters record comes from in the season that Sha'Carri ended up breaking that record, right? There was no sign of 1074 coming. Like, you know, maybe she wins, maybe she doesn't. Nobody was talking about collegiate records in 1074. And at this point in the world, it would seem that Abby is ahead of where anybody was at this time of the year. So I think that's where that comes from. I would agree. I would say that the 200 record is, barring an injury, the 200 record is going to be gone. But the 100, that there a lot of things got to be right for that to happen. That I would land in.
Well, okay, so she ran 22:08 indoors.
Yeah.
The collegiate record outdoors is 22:02. So I mean,
Right.
yeah, she should break it. But again, 1092 is a long way from 1174. It's a much bigger gap. A lot of bigger things need to happen. And again, I mean, I think if there's a record that should be on watch, it's the 200. I'm not convinced she can even approach the 100-meter record. No.
You know, you bring up an interesting one. So let's segue really quickly. I know that there's a lot of events to cover, but what collegiate records do we think are on notice?
I mean, there's
obviously the women's 200 we discovered.
Right.
We discussed.
Women's hurdles.
Is there anything else out there?
The women's hurdles is on notice by a few people. Okay. You know, a few people. The low-hanging fruit, if we're going to transition into that kind of conversation, for me is you know, the collegiate record holder in the women's hammer is obviously Cameron Rogers of Cal Berkeley. And I'm gonna tell y'all right now, she's going to destroy that. And what my guy Mo Satara has going on out there is just ridiculous.
Yeah. Big shout out to that dude, man. Wow.
I'm not a field event guy, so I can't put that in its proper context. So I'll leave that to the two of you. But I am gonna try to pull up this stat because I had it earlier. Y'all talk about how phenomenal having two 70-meter hammer throwers on the same roster, let alone on the same day, is. While I look for this thing real quick.
I mean, you know, it goes right up there with every other like phenomenal pairing. Like the closest one, the best one I could think of immediately is when Sir Lucius had Will and Christian on the same team. Like the same kind of, well, third place looks pretty good kind of deal. Like, and you know, the wildest part about that is so many people forget all about the fact that Omar Craddock was the third guy. Like,
Tough
he's
life.
not a bum. That dude's really good. And so, you know, I think that's the first one I could think of immediately. But Yeah, I mean, a pair of 70-meter hammer throwers collegiately on the same day that's not just special, that's generational.
So here's what I was looking for. As we sit here right now shooting this show, to clarify how great of a throws crew Mo Satara has built and is building out at Berkeley. Right now, he has the number 5 shot putter in the country on the men's side, number 1 in the discus on the men's side, number 7 in the discus on the men's side, number 10 in the discus on the women's side, number 20 on the men's side in the hammer, and numbers 1 and 3 on the women's side in the hammer. You name me, you tell me someone who's a better throws coach in this country, and I'm just going to vehemently disagree. Like, Mo is just special at what he does, and the way he works with those kids. I had the pleasure to watch it up close and personal, for 2 years. I used to sit out there just to kick it, just to watch throws practice, and I've never done that. Like, it's fun to watch, and the fact that he has the freedom and the opportunity to build that thing the way he wants to is paying off. It's phenomenal.
I'm going to play devil's advocate here a little bit and say that, I think what he's doing is phenomenal. There's a guy over at Arizona State that might have something to say about that.
Sure. Cool.
Yeah. And I think Mo may have a better cadre of athletes right at this moment. When you talk about a career, Mr. Bluetrick's going to have a lot to say about that, because he has produced at a high level for a very long time. So
no doubt. But now,
but right now, Mo's got the better collection of athletes. I am not going to anoint him as a better coach than Blind Bruton. I can't go that far.
And I will listen. Both those people are obviously very good friends of mine, so I'm not going to pick between them. But I will say this: I don't even know that Mo has the greater collection of athletes. He has a greater number, because if you look at Brian's top 3 people currently, they're pretty ridiculous as well.
Absolutely.
Here's the thing: I wouldn't want to be is another throws coach in the Pac-12.
No,
I wouldn't want to be.
No.
If my last name wasn't Satara or Bluetrick, I would not be happy at all. That's what I'm going to say. It's funny, we talked about records. I think that the multi-event records on both sides are without question in jeopardy.
I mean, they might be on hourly watch at this point.
Well, I think the heptathlon record has got to wait until she does a heptathlon. So I don't think that'll be hourly. But yeah, the decathlon record has already been scared by a little bit, and there were a couple marks in there that I'm sure that Mr. Owens would really like to have back. So that's going to be an interesting one to follow all year. And like, look, sometimes it's just like that. Like, this is definitely the year of the multi-eventers. Like, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of other really good stuff going on, but right now, I mean, the talent that's in the men's multi and the talent that's in the women's multi is really, 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 really good for this country.
Yeah, I would agree. Both of those records are definitely on watch. I mean, and I don't think that anyway, we don't think that Mr. Ross has a very good shot of breaking the 400-meter record.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
And I will tell you that if you look at the quality of teams in the men's 4x1, I think that record could be on notice. And after watching what Arkansas did indoors and what Kentucky and A&M did as well, the outdoor record could be on watch in the women's 4x4.
Yeah,
could be.
Well, hasn't it already been broken?
The outdoor,
not outdoors.
I feel like it when you open at 322. I almost feel like they give it to you. Oh my goodness. It's so crazy to think about that, right? Like 322 in the beginning of the very season, and then girls who run 53.90 in high school want a full.
Man, girls that run 56.90 want a full.
I didn't say it.
Oh, it's okay. You don't have to have any feel when you're in high school. That's clear. They never
Well,
do.
look, it's this is the track is back segment, right? I think as a whole, for a multitude of reasons, we would probably all agree that the professional opener, if you will, in Bermuda was mostly a flop. But this weekend we have some professional things going on both coasts. And even though this isn't, retro from last week, this is a good, I'm gonna throw the question out there again. Grant dodged it in his way, right? Can I get some predictions from either coast this weekend? Can I get a Norman versus Curly in the 200 prediction out of the LLC?
I mean, okay, so I mean, I will say this, that based on what they've been doing to this point, I think you have to be named Curly as a favorite because the other ones haven't run yet. So just on race rhythm and race sharpness alone, you'd think it'd be Curly. But then Mike is Mike, and he is in California, and he seems to run very well in California. So I mean that's I think that's a great race. I think that it will get interesting, but I believe Fred's probably a little more race sharp right now. Another thing that we noticed earlier when we were talking about this is Kenny Bednaric's running his first 400 since JUCO.
Yes.
So
a very interesting development.
Exactly. I think that here in Gainesville, like I don't have the heat sheets in front of me. I don't know if Big League can pull them up, but there's like Sean A. Miller Weeble's running 400. No, there'll be a round 2 of the Noah versus Arion battle. That'll happen this weekend. So there's some great 4x1s and 4x4s and all kind of stuff here this weekend. And I just think that if you look at the landscape of what's going on the West Coast and East Coast this weekend, it's just some great track and field. And so I want to back that up with like, why can't we do what they did in Bermuda here on this continent?
Right.
Like that's what I don't understand. Like we can go to Bermuda and put on a meet. Why can't we find a hot spot here in the United States to put on a meet? Especially when we go to an island where we're running into headwinds. I mean, there's not like, okay, we're gonna go to Bermuda and not know that the wind's blowing, right? I mean, come on.
So can we get into that? Like, I don't understand. If you're going,
it's a one-word answer. It's television.
Right? It's just television, and it's laziness. It's just track. Is all those things? They all fall into how a product that good can be packaged and sold that poorly. But I want to go back to your original question about predictions on either coast. I'm gonna give an answer and I'm gonna give a question. It's no fun if me and Sir Lucius agree. So I'm gonna pick Michael Norman, but I want to set the over-under for Grant's 100 meters this weekend at 995 and ask you two, because he can't give an answer, over or under.
You didn't want to make it easy and make it 10 flat.
No, of course not.
995. What's the weather going to be in Gainesville this weekend?
It's going to be on Saturday when it's going to be contested. It'll be in the 80s.
And unlike the meet organizers in Bermuda, I imagine that the Tom Jones will be run with the wind.
Yes.
Regardless of what it looks like on the broadcast. Man, who's in that race?
Which
one are we talking about?
Who's in Grant's race?
Of the 100.
Of the 100. Oh, I'm on.
Because I understand why he's not in the A race, respect and all of that. But who's in the second heat?
I'm getting there. Sorry. I lost one.
Got it.
I'm almost there.
What are you walking?
No, I'm scrolling too fast and then I'm having to figure out where I went from.
Lower.
Yeah. Children, wear your glasses.
Come on,
Let's see.
Q.
All right, here we go. Here we go.
Found it.
Yeah. So we've got, you want to know who's in Grant's heat or
Who's
who's
in the
before?
heat with Grant?
Who's in? Yes.
Okay, Devin Quinn, Akeem Bloomfield, DeMarcus Simpson, Sam Gordon, Jelani Walker, Harry Akins, is that right? And Mario Hislop.
Okay, so he's clearly gonna win that race. 995. I definitely say under 10. I'm gonna, oh God. It'll be just like Grant to go 994 just for petty.
99.
I'm gonna go under. I'm gonna go under.
Chew what you got.
Gonna see something
was
in
the
the first
question?
heat that's gonna piss him off, and he's gonna go under.
The
What was
over
the
under
question?
is 995. Is Grant going to run faster or slower than that?
So it's 7. I say slower, but not by much.
Okay. So we
Lower
got
for the numerical value.
I'll take under as well. So we got 2 unders and an over. We'll see you next week on Track is Back.
And for the record, given West Coast, the reopening of the breathtaking Mt SAC facility, you know, I gotta pick Norman. I agree that I think Fred has obviously been running more and more race sharp, blah, blah, blah. But there's still something to be said about people coming into your house. And I think Michael be ready to defend the crib.
It will be interesting.
Now, I will say, and it's just a rumor, because I have no confirmation of this. Hell, I've been at practice most of the day. I heard a rumor that on the men's side, there's going to be a 4x1 that in theory would be Coleman to Curley to Norman to Benjamin. Please make that happen. If nothing else happens on the West Coast this weekend, please make that happen.
I will take the East Coast version.
Give me the East Coast version.
Am I allowed to say, Sir Lucius? It's Quinn to Baker to Flamingo to Knighton.
I would also love to see that. I would love to see that.
So that's actually an interesting bi-coastal race.
Yes, it is. Absolutely.
Yeah. General overall shout out and whatnot for Track is Back is the exponential amount of races that happen at Arcadia, because a lot of them were good. There were a lot of good things there.
Hey, Arcadia was a lot of fun. You know, I brought the whole crew down there. It's been years since I've been to Arcadia, and obviously with all the COVID, you know, shenanigans that's been going on, like Arcadia is a special event. I think it's the best high school regular season meet in the country annually when it's its actual version of itself. And last weekend was no different. You know, we stay away from throwing names of high school kids on purpose for obvious reasons.
Yeah, absolutely.
But just overall, it's always a phenomenally run meet. And, you know, you have spectacular performances across the board, across all disciplines. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're
And across all ages too.
yeah, if you're a distance geek, go look up the 3,200 meter results from Arcadia. Like
Every year. Like
insane.
it's always
absolutely, it's
insane.
every year. Yeah.
Both genders.
Like I
everything.
think I've seen the national high school record broken in the 3,200 at Arcadia twice myself.
I mean, it was nutty. It was nutty how good those kids are.
Yeah. And in the field too. Field events
across the board.
were great.
Across
Yeah, so just general overall shout out for Track is Back for the athletes who traveled to go to Arcadia. That was great for Arcadia opening up they're opening it more up to out of state people. So good on that to make sure we give them a kudo.
And I think that the exciting thing is like we're kind of at that midpoint now. And, let's be in 4 weeks from now, we're getting ready for conference. That means
Right.
8 weeks from now, it's the NCAA championships. And then 10 weeks from now, we're in Eugene at the trials, right? It's folks, it's upon us. And before you know it, we're going to be at the cathedral for the world championships, right? So I think that it's an exciting time. There's a lot of things that happened last weekend. I mean, you talk about Abby, Kentucky also ran 42 low in the 4x1 and looked good doing it, right?
That's a record we missed. The women's 4x1 is under threat.
Yes.
The women's 4x1 is under threat.
Yeah, I mean,
look, nobody has said it, but the men's 4x4 is without question under threat. Nobody's paying it. Dude, there's 4 teams that run 302.
Yes.
It's April.
Yes. The men's 4x4 is always tricky because it's like when, where could that go?
We'll discuss that. We'll discuss that next week in Track is Back.
All right. I'm going to take my cue. Rapid fire time. I'm going to go ahead and just take that one and run with it. Clyde,
It's
are you
me.
ready to line up, sir? It is you.
All right. Well,
I love the fact that you're always surprised it's you every time.
You're
You're like,
not
"It's
lying
me."
about that. Because I pay absolutely no attention to the rotation.
no attention to the rotation, no attention to the code.
Oh my God.
No.
Listen, we're gonna hold you down and get the code tattooed to you.
All right, sir. Safe questions. Couple repeats from last week because I'm interested. First one, if you could live anywhere, where would it be?
Can I live anywhere?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly where I'm living, in California, USA.
Got it. Where will you never go again?
Oh,
I thought that was a great question last week, so I'm going to run it through everybody to see.
never go again. I'm a traveler. I like to go places, even when they're horrible experiences. I usually at least come out of it with a good story. But honestly, if I never have to see the state of Missouri again, I won't exactly complain.
Wow. I said Russia and you said Missouri.
Well, I haven't
Love
been to
it.
Russia, so
Oh, okay.
I haven't been to
got
Russia. I need to go to Russia once, no
I
time.
did not like it. Exactly.
what I mean? All of my international travel has actually been awesome in one way or another. I haven't been anywhere internationally where I was like, I didn't like it. I loved all of it in their own ways. But yeah, you can keep Missouri. I don't really need to go there.
Who is your favorite cartoon character, either now or as a kid?
Oh, South Park. Ain't even close. And if you want me to be specific, Eric Cartman is my all-time favorite cartoon character.
Oh my
There's
gosh,
nothing
I
better.
can see that.
There's nothing better than Eric Cartman.
Oh my gosh. What is the pet peeve of all pet peeves for you?
I have too many. I can give you a short list of the really high ones.
Okay, give me 3 really high ones.
You know what? I think bad weave. Bad weave is really high on my list. Bad weave is really high. Manipulated visits to church is really high. Like, don't trick me into going to church. That's happened a few times in my life. Moving. I hate moving. Like I can't properly articulate how much I loathe moving.
Love it.
Red lipstick, not a fan.
Wow.
Not a
Now
fan.
that is a random one.
Not a fan.
Okay.
And because makeup is magic, I'm not a fan of heavy makeup because you can trick
You can
me.
undo some stuff.
Okay, so the cake face.
Makeup is magic.
Listen,
Oh, someone's gonna put that on a shirt somewhere. All right. What's the first thing you would buy if you won the lottery?
Some red lipstick.
no, not at all.
Some wet and wild red lipstick.
The first thing I buy if I probably, you know, a house for the fam, and a second one, you know, to what you call it, a flip or a investment property style kind of thing. I'm not a big spender. Like, that's not me. Like, if you handed me like $10 million today, I wouldn't move much different than I do now. I'm not flossy like that.
So flossy. I'm sorry. Do you use the top sheet for your bed?
What-
You have your fitted sheet and then the flat sheet. It's called the flat sheet.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yes. Yeah, I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed when it's not there. It's like, it's weird when it's not.
All right, last question. What is one job you would never do or have?
Oh God, I guarantee that's a list for him.
It's a list, but I could chalk it all up into one thing, like 9 to 5. I can't do it. I don't really care what it is. I can't do it. I'm not wired that way. My brain doesn't rock that way. I can't do it. Much respect to those who can, and even more respect to those who have to. I don't have to, and I never want to do that. Like, I can't do it.
Got it. That's it for my questions. Sir Lucius and Lamar.
See, when that comes to questions for him, I try to think of questions that the audience would want me to ask him.
As you should. That's what I do. And then I get accused of petty.
And rightfully so, sir.
I mean, right.
All right, so you get to pick a place, any stadium on this continent, and you're going to set up a hot race between 4 athletes in a single event. What's the event and what are the 4 athletes?
What's the event and what are the 4 athletes?
Rapidly.
Yeah, it's not a rapid question, man.
It is, yeah.
You know,
just go for it.
I kind of like the idea of, you know, what's going on right now, you know, out here out west. Like, I like the meeting in the middle or the off event kind of stuff, just, you know, as regular seasons go. So it would probably be a 200. And Mike and Fred would definitely be in there. I'd like to see the youngin, Knighton, in there. And if it's for any kind of significant, you know, chunk of money, got to put the grass in there. Because when he cares to win something, he just finds a way to get up in there and do things, right? So, you know, I'm a big fan of Knighton. I think he's the future. and Fred seems to be the right now. Norman is, for my money, the most talented, but hasn't really figured it out yet. And then DeGrasse, it's weird to say DeGrasse is like the KG vet right now, but right, but he's been on the scene the longest of that group. So it'd be a 200, you know, for some serious, $1 million 200-meter race between those four. I'd love to see that.
Got it.
Oh,
Okay.
I don't know if he said where, but
He did.
I'd like to see that done at the Mount San Antonio, Mt SAC facility. Eugene is dope, but you know,
It's a neutral site.
yeah, neutral site. LA Sun.
Okay. You are anointed the all-powerful US 4x1 relay coach.
Oh Lord, really?
Yep.
This is what we're doing?
Yep.
Okay, go ahead.
Right now, in a rapid fashion, I need 4 men and I need 4 women in their proper places.
Right now, as in April, or
No, I'm saying, I need you to give me this answer today.
Oh, okay.
You can base it on whatever nonsense you want to base it
on. In the order?
In order.
I want Coleman. I want Coleman 1. I want Curly 2. Do I have to pick all 4?
Yes.
Man, no, you know what? No, I'm changing it. I want Norman 1. I want Curly 2. I want Flamingo 3, and I want Noah on the anchor. That's the team I would love to see. The women is impossible. The women's impossible. Like, seriously. Right now? Do they have to be Americans?
Yes. Jesus Christ. You're gonna put the 3 Jamaicans and an American.
The women is so difficult right now.
I know.
Oh man. The women is so difficult. Man. I don't know. I really don't. Because and the reason I'm struggling with that so much is because, you know, in the past, you know, call it whatever, 15, 20 years, there's been the women that we've had have been easily definable at their positions, right? Like, it's real simple to say, put Jet on anchor. It's real easy to say, put Allison down the backstretch and Tiana's on 1. Like, all you really got to do is find a 3, right? Like, it's not hard to do that. Now it's like the NBA. You have all these positionless players. Like, who's the best woman in America to run pop off right now? No clue. No clue. You know, obviously Sha'Carri should be out there somewhere. Most people say put her on anchor. I would not put her down the backstretch. Man, Sha'Carri on 2. Sha'Carri on 2. Man, this is so difficult. Sha'Carri on 2. I gotta have Gabby out there somewhere. So Sha'Carri on 2, Gabby on anchor. And then the turn runners are where it gets really, really difficult. I think Prandini runs a really nice turn. When she's running 200s, she's always doing well off the turn. So I'd say stick Prandini out there on the turn somewhere. And I just don't know if the women who are known for starters, just because you're known for a starter to be a good starter in the 60 or 100, doesn't mean that you're going to necessarily do a great job on the turn and the pop off, right? So just on raw talent, I'd say Prandini won. I put Prandini one, Sha'Carri down the back, put Abby on 3, and put Gabby on the end. And if the spacing is right, I guarantee you we beat the Jamaicans. I'll tell you that.
Guaranteed, he said, folks.
Yeah, just
Very
like I
interesting.
guaranteed the Jamaicans wasn't going to break the world record last time. Guaranteed.
All right.
All right. Well, last but not least, let's round the show with our heartbeat props. Lifting up people, giving them kudos. I'm going to jump in and go first. As some people know, whatever, my son's a baseball player, but why it's important to me for baseball this week is because also I'm a big fan of the San Francisco Giants, and they put the first female base coach in a major league game. So that was super exciting. Alyssa Knockin, N-A-K-K-E-N. Sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. But it's amazing because it's amazing that now young ladies are going to be able to see that that is possible. So the representation counts and it's there. So kudos to you, heartbeat props to you.
I am going to give a heartbeat props out to Miss Dawn Staley at South Carolina. I mean, I think somehow in the midst of all the madness of March Madness with the men, we kind of lost sight of what was going on the women's side of things. And because I coach in the SEC and the television in our lobby of our track offices is always on the SEC network, I've got had the privilege of watching some of the replays of their games and also just hearing her speak and the passion at which she speaks, the pride and the detail she puts in everything she does. To use a pseudo Gator Huffins term, you know, the South Carolina women's program was a dumpster fire when she took that thing over. And now it is the elite of the elite. And it's because of her drive and her passion. I just want to say, you know, heartbeat props to Dawn Staley. You know, kudos to you, young lady. Keep it rolling.
I'll let the EP close this one out. You know, it's almost the end of relay season, as we call it, getting close. And even though Tom Jones is not a relay meet, it is the East Coast, you know, elite competition this weekend, along with Mt SAC being the West Coast elite competition this weekend. And my heartbeat props go out to all of us out here on the West Coast that are running this gauntlet that is Mt SAC weekend. If you don't understand it, here's the picture. Mt SAC is the meet. And because Mt SAC is difficult to get into and limited, there are these overflow meets. Brian Clay in Azusa, Long Beach Invitational. And they all if you look at the map, they all look like they're relatively close together, but this is LA and there's traffic. Okay.
Lots of
many teams this weekend are taking their athletes and their staff and trying to shuffle between these 3 competitions that are happening basically all simultaneously. It is the epitome of chaos. You look at, okay, this person's here and this person's here, and how are we going to get this? And your brain explodes, and somehow, some way, at the end of it, you always come out like, that was a great idea. Let's do it again. It's not a great idea.
Every year.
But we keep doing it because it's awesome. And so to all the coaches out here that are running the gauntlet, most of which my friends that I saw today, it hasn't even really started yet and they're already tired.
Yeah.
Love y'all. I respect y'all. And let's just plow on through it because it's awesome.
Shout out to the minivans, Yukons, and Suburbans
And
flying on the 605, 10, 210, 710.
Look here. Madness.
I feel like people, like at some point in time, we need to figure out how we can explain to people who aren't from California, like how hard it is to get from Long Beach to Walnut, California.
Oh,
605 to the 210 east.
that's one way. Yeah.
Right. There's like 8 ways, and none of them are fast, and all of them have the potential to be 4-hour journeys.
Listen, remember, I'm the only California native on my staff. So none of them have done this before. None of them have been there. And as I'm walking them through what it's going to look like, I have the computer up and I got the maps, and I'm pretty sure it was TJ that says, well, it's only 12 miles. I was like, bro, I don't give a damn about the 12 miles. Listen to me. There's no way that we're getting from here to here in 15 minutes. It's not a thing. Just trust me on this.
Nope.
So yes.
No
Total
shot. Oh man. I want to give my heartbeat props to young people who have talent and are afraid sometimes to fail. I think what we're seeing now is a generation of people that didn't play outside, and they didn't get, this is broad stroke, they didn't get cauterized by the caustic nature of peer evaluation. When we were kids, we played outside, and your friends told you sucked if you sucked. And your friends told you, oh, you're getting a little better if you got a little bit better. But that was your first affirmation or reality, was your friends who were honest. But when you don't play outside and all you do is video games or online things, you don't really interact. Sometimes you get to be really good in a silo, and you get a lot of potential, and people say all these good things about you. And then when, it becomes what they call nut cutting time, you're like, this is a stress level I've never seen before. And I'm dealing with a few people that are struggling and fighting with that. And so it dawned on me that there are probably a great number of young people out there who need encouraging words to get them to understand that they are not only talented, they are also tough. It's funny, in the world we live in, a lot of times now, the word tough has become taboo, right? Because so many coaches have made it almost a negative connotation, like you're not tough and you're like a girl, or all those crazy things that old school, bad metaphoric, male predominantly coaches have said. But what does need to be said to this generation, who hasn't really had the opportunity yet to know that they're tough, and that some of them are facing their first real adversity, is that you are tough. You do have internal fortitude and intestinal fortitude that you have to motivate intrinsically. Like, if you try, that will be the beginning of unleashing your toughness. And I want to say to, the 22 to 19-year-olds that are out there, like, listen, do not by any means be paralyzed by your potential. Do not be afraid to make a flaming idiot of yourself trying to do something, because every single advancement that's ever happened in this world has happened after many failures. If you don't believe me, Google like the initial flights of the Wright brothers. Google, you name it. Google the U.S. space program. You name it. Almost everything that's ever happened great has had some horrific flameouts prior to success. So do not be afraid of fear. Do not be afraid of trying. Go outside your comfort zone and find your greatness.
Well said. Well said. Well, another fun episode. One for the books for sure. Clyde, be safe. Use your blinker. Don't kill anybody.
Oh no, ma'am. No, ma'am. See, I'm in the chair. I ain't going nowhere. They're running. I'm staying at Mt SAC.
Oh, that's so funny. That's funny. I think that might be the week of petty right there.
Oh,
Put in my
petty.
time.
Whoever drew the Brian Clay straw, good for you. Because trust me, whoever drew that Long Beach straw, they're gonna need a drink when the weekend's over.
Yes, sir.
So, all right. Well, it's been fun. We'll see you all next week. Have fun, run fast, turn left, left, right, left, right. Bye, everyone.